Can you hear it with your ears? Can you see it with your eyes? Can you feel it wiggling between your quivering thighs? That thing with James. Once every millennium something will come along. When you feel it you will know it, 'cause it's coming on strong. That thing with James. Sit back, relax, deep breaths, no stress. Let me come inside your mind. I promise you it won't take long, the change will happen soon. You will feel something so special growing deep within you. That thing with James. That thing with James. That's me. Hi, welcome to episode 39, I believe, of That Thing with James J. Asher II. I am your host and creator of this show, James J. Asher II. That's me. Well, folks, today I've got yet another special episode for you. And this one is super special because I have not just one, but two guests on the show. You'll find out who they are after this quick business. So, if you enjoy this show, if you want to help support this show, help support a friend, a stranger, someone underground, counterculture show. I don't know if this is really a counterculture show. But I identify as a counterculture type dude. I'm into counterculture stuff. Either way, if you want to help support this show, you can do so at patreon.com/thatthingwithjames, patreon.com/thatthingwithjames, patreon.com/thatthingwithjames. You can donate as little as $1 a month. It may be little to you, but it's big to me. So if you want to, help support this show and, show that you care, donate $1 or more. You can donate $15,000 if you want. Yeah, that's an option I made, but you don't have to do that. If you've got $1 laying around, you can donate. Like Josh or Wade. Granted, they donate a little more, but you don't have to. And both of you guys, thank you for being supportive, and for supporting the show for as long as you have been. You guys fucking rock, and it gets me rock hard just thinking about it. So, patreon.com/thatthingwithjames if you want to donate. If you want to find me on social media, my handle is @JamesJAsher. I'm mostly active on Twitter and Instagram. More so Instagram, although I'm not super active on them, but I'm not inactive on them. But if you want to find me out and slide into my DMs, find me @JamesJAsher. Or if you want, you can email me at thatthingwithjames@gmail.com. If you want to just say hi, if you have any questions for me, questions you'd like answered on the show, if you are in need of any kind of advice that I'm not necessarily qualified to answer, I'll give you my answer though. You can email me at thatthingwithjames@gmail.com. I want to hear from you. And, if you have an idea for a subject to cover on an episode, I'd love to hear it. I'd love to hear from you. thatthingwithjames@gmail.com. I also have a website, jamesjasher.com. Not a whole lot going on over there, but I have a blog there. If you go way, way back, before I started this show, I've put up some sample writing. One fun one I often mention on here is the essay I wrote on the nature of nature while I was watching a sci-fi called Altered Carbon. Pretty drunk on absinthe. That was a fun thing to write. So if that sounds like something up your alley, it might sound boring to you, but I promise you it's not boring. I'm a fun writer. At least that's what Mom tells me. She says I'm good at stuff anyway. If jamesjasher.com if you want to see that. And let's see what else. Oh, if you have not subscribed yet to the show, dear listeners and or viewers, please subscribe to the show. For the YouTubers, subscribe to the channel. Like the videos you like. Write a comment. For the audio fans, rate the show, write a review, and, make it easier for other people to find the show so we can, build a community and, come up with some inside jokes. I've never really had a lot of inside jokes. I've never really had a nickname because I've always kind of been, sort of a, loner kind of a dude, but not really a loner. I wouldn't say, identify as a loner per se, but, I guess I've just never had that sort of thing. But if you want to make that kind of a thing for the show, if you're into that sort of thing, share the show with your friends. So I'm still waiting for the guests to get here. So in the next few seconds, they will be here. Be right back. I was recording video and audio recording, so don't forget it. We'll cut ad. Let's see.
It's 3:33.
Oh, make a wish.
Mm-hmm.
Welcome back. Okay, here are my guests. Who are you two, and what are you doing in my house?
Go for it.
I'm Elizabeth Tabish, and
my name is Giselle Marie Muñoz, and you brought us here.
Yeah, you invited us. So we showed up.
Yeah, so thank you both for doing this. This is really awesome. So why did I bring you here?
We are.
Do you want us to explain why
we are in the business of celebrating film. In particular, have created the Austin Arthouse Film Festival, and we are celebrating our second year in a few days, which will be Monday, October 21st.
Hopefully, you see this before then.
You will.
Okay, just me.
I'm gonna try to upload it tomorrow night.
Awesome.
Oh, perfect timing. And
yeah, we're here to talk about the festival, why we started it, what to expect this year. We've got some really wonderful things to show, and James is actually in one of the shorts.
Oh my
videos.
gosh!
Did you know that?
What?
Surprise!
This is news. Oh my god!
Yeah. We're excited about it though.
Hell yeah! So this is year 2.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
How did you guys come up with the idea to do this in the first place?
Last year, wow, that seems like a long time ago.
But
we were talking about
last year.
So we were on a commercial shoot together, and we were talking about all of the things we loved and wanted more of in Austin.
Yes.
And art house cinema was one of them. And then one day, I think we were talking on the phone. I was like, "What if we did?"
You sent me an email and said, let's do a film festival. I want to do a film festival. Will you help me? And I said yes.
And then I think we honed in on the type of festival, which was art house cinema. We wanted to see what people were making out in the world. And so we just kind of step by step built this thing. We opened submission on Film Freeway. We went specifically to AFS Cinema for the theater because that is
our art house.
The art house cinema
in town.
So they worked with us, and we got a lovely spot last October. And then all these submissions came in, and we were kind of blown away by everything.
We really were, and it was a big experiment because I did something not quite. I helped run a film festival for some student work in a conservatory, but this was people we didn't know. This is people from all around the world saying, yes, I want to be part of this, and sharing their work, which was incredible. I think we were really blown away and had over 200 people want to be part of this thing that none of us knew what it was going to be.
Until it
really
just
cool.
it created itself almost, you know, once you start seeing oh, that has to be in, and you watch all these submissions and it forms itself. And
absolutely,
the first year was incredible, and then this year we got 250 plus submissions. And
whoa!
After last year, I was like, okay, so that's it for Art House. wasn't really sure if there would be more people that like keep making stuff.
Well, even before that, I was like thinking about the stuff that I'd learned in film history and was like, maybe we can, I thought it was going to be like all tributes. I'm like, do people still make this kind of work?
Yeah.
I think so, right? Like there's some stuff out there, and then was like, oh yeah, absolutely.
Tons, yeah.
Yes. And so I think it's like uncovering the veil of this kind of work and this kind of art. So yes, people all over the place are making this incredible
experimental
avant-garde tiny little stories that are not little at all, but very big and grand and colorful
and we're only screening short films, so each one of these kind of like packs a punch in a short amount of time. Next year we're hoping to do feature films as well. But for now, we just wanted to, like, you know, show the plethora.
Because I do remember having people reach out to us asking us if we were accepting features. So,
and we just have such a limited time in the theater. But if we get more submissions, then we get more money to rent the theater for longer, and we'll be able to show more, which is the goal.
Yeah.
So, like, where do you even start? So you start from let's make a film festival. And then you figure out what kind of film festival you want to do.
Yep.
Where do you go from there? Do you just like Google how to start a film festival?
I think the thing that helped lead us was Film Freeway, which told us like what we needed to do in order to set up an official festival to accept submissions. And it was like, you need a website, you need a location, a date, a time, like you need all these specific things. So we just started there.
And I think the location was one of the first things that we were like, I don't know what we're going to do, but we're going to do it right there.
Yeah.
And which is actually where we just came from and had like a beautiful tech check to make sure everything is ready for Monday and looks fabulous on the big screen.
But then after that, we especially we reached out to the filmmakers that were accepted, and we didn't know if they would be traveling to us or not, or if people would even show up, you know? So we did the whole thing. We got the red carpet, we got the backdrop, opened up ticket sales, and we're just sort of like, hopefully people want to come see it. And
one thing that we learned from last year, because people have been asking me that, and I'm like, I know we learned something, but what was it? We've learned things and also still didn't do. But checking the Austin calendar, this town is just full of a whole bunch of stuff going on like all the time.
Yeah.
So I think we had ended up doing, it was right around, it was the weekend of F1, and so it was really hard for our filmmakers.
Hotels were expensive.
They were like $450, $500 a night, and thankfully I had some people in my community open up their homes to these filmmakers that they didn't know who they were, but they were super down to open up their homes, which is so cool. So that's one thing that we did this year. We're like, let's look at the calendar, and we've had some hotels give us some great rates.
Yeah.
So yeah, will these filmmakers come in from out of town? Will they take time to come and join us in Austin? Some people had never been to Austin. I feel like
international too.
Really?
Yeah. Some people
like
Canada.
Brazil.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And Brazil.
Okay.
We had throughout the U.S., but I think our Brazilian filmmaker, Laís, who's back again this year, and she's coming back. I don't know if she'd been to the States before.
Oh, I don't know.
We'll have to ask.
Let
us know in the comments. Is that what you do?
Yeah.
Comment below and tell us, is this your... No.
So that's so cool. People will actually come here.
People will come here.
Uh-huh.
And
our film festival is this new concept for you.
No.
You know how they work.
I know how it works, but listeners might not know how a film festival works.
Who are your listeners?
Hey, Bob.
Bob, let me tell you, this is how a film festival works.
Bob and Fargo, looking classy.
Is there really a Bob and Fargo?
Also,
I don't know.
Oh, that'd be really cool.
If there is, I'm sorry.
I'm sure there is.
Yeah.
You're
Fargo.
Fargo.
So how do you decide what to... Do you guys decide what films to accept?
Do.
So, and then you get like 200 plus submissions. What's that process like?
It's a year-long process.
It really is.
As people submit throughout the year, we try to... Sometimes they pile up. But we're usually pretty good about like keeping an eye on and a tab on having to watch all of them, deciding kind of early of like, is this a maybe, is this a yes? So it's not like all at the end of the year piled up of like, I have to watch 250 films, you know, so it's throughout the year. So it's a little bit more manageable. We have really similar, I think, interests and like tastes in film. So whenever we both like something, I mean, we usually...
It's like 95%, 90 to 95%
close,
that we're both like, yes. And Film Freeway has their format to where we're watching them individually whenever we can, and then we can write notes to each other about it or...
Yeah. What do you think about this? Blah, blah, blah.
This is what I like.
Music is amazing.
This is so great.
James Asher's performance is perfect.
Oh, we got to...
Oh, shucks.
Yeah, absolutely. We got to screen it every day if we can. So, yeah, Film Freeway's great. They did kind of walk us through everything. Yeah. And then it's like awards. Okay, people like awards. So let's make awards. You had a great idea of naming them after incredible filmmakers.
Art house filmmakers, like specific to what they're known for. So our best director award is the Kubrick Award, because he's the best director.
Yeah.
Our best art house is Lynch Award, David Lynch. Eisenstein is for editing. We have
Dreamiest, Darren,
Maya Deren,
Agnes Varda.
Aronofsky?
Yes.
Okay.
Aronofsky. Psychological
yeah.
Varda for best documentary.
Who?
Agnes Varda. She passed away in the spring of this year.
Yeah.
So
Spunkmeyer for animation. We've got like, you know, these filmmakers that especially in college, my undergrad was in film theory, and I got to watch all these really weird movies that I don't think I would have known about had I not been introduced to them. And so, you know, getting to watch all of this back then, I was like, oh, you know, and then I find out like nobody else knows who I'm talking about. Right. So I think this is a nice way to like continue that and share like, these are names you should look up, everyone. Yeah. These are really like...
And carrying the torch.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. I mean, everyone knows who Kubrick is, obviously, but there's some, you know, some styles of filmmaking, too, and even just art movements, like Dadaism. Like, one of our films is actually called Dada Ship, and it's animated, and it is in the style of Dadaism.
This year?
Like, this year, yeah.
I fucking love Dada.
You'll love it. It's in block 1. So it's, you know, and I think just having seen all these types of films helps us inform us, at least, of like what is art house and what we want to celebrate in this sort of genre. And it's just, there's so much variety, and there's there's a lot of history in it. And so if you can connect it and you remember, like I've seen something like that before and someone's doing it now, we have to show it.
Absolutely.
You know? So we try to connect it to the history of cinema as much as possible.
And then connecting artists to an audience that may have not otherwise had each other.
Yeah, yeah. All in one place.
So do you guys have like a sort of like a checklist criteria that you have?
We had
or is
a
it
big
more...
checklist last year. And
yeah,
this year
like...
we just threw it out the window.
This year, it ended up being too cerebral. Like, I think whatever speaks to us, whatever like hits us in the gut or is just instinctually like, oh, this needs to be seen. That usually is, I mean, that's how year 1 was as well. It's just like this, I love this. I'm emotional over this. I feel something from this.
And a lot of times that reaction happens you can tell from the very beginning.
Yeah, yeah.
When something is absolutely needed. You know. It needs to be visible.
Yeah.
We need to create...
More people need to see this thing, yeah. But it's hard to choose. I mean, there were so many really incredible submissions that we just like don't have time for or didn't quite fit in the vibe of this year. So, you know, we had a number of semifinalists where it's like, we love your work so much, but we just can't screen it this year.
It must be pretty difficult to say.
It's painful, you know, like especially like seeing some of the quality and talent and a lot of the semifinalists. It's just like, we know you've put your heart in this and it looks amazing. And there's just something timing wise or theme wise that just like doesn't quite fit. So, you know, we hope that they keep submitting for next year.
Absolutely.
And eventually
keep on
we'll
working.
be able to screen it.
Keep on doing what you do.
Speaking of themes, are you both trying to, I guess, go for a certain type of theme every different year?
No, nothing specific.
Okay.
I think it's just whatever, you know, there's like these core films, they're kind of longer that sort of inform the rest of like what fits with it.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't really plan that. You just have to kind of watch it and be like, oh, we had some kind of Halloween-y, kind of creepy films this year. And so, you know, that kind of informed like what Block 3 was going to be like. And then, of course, we had tons of like documentary stuff.
I was going to say, I think we had like one documentary and one music video last year and a couple of animation. And now we have so much of each of those things.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They were just done so well that it wasn't going to be like, oh, we have enough animation. It wasn't like that at all. And they're all so different from each other. We added an extra or another award this year, the Crumb Award, Robert Crumb.
For traditional
animation, because there were so many films we couldn't just fit it into one animation category.
There's a lot of CGI and then traditional. There was some claymation too. Yeah. Really cool stuff.
And music videos.
Yeah.
So we're excited to be screening the one that you're in. Is it Broncho or Bronco?
Broncho.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which I think you're from Oklahoma.
They
right?
are.
We're from Oklahoma.
Yeah. And I like knew all the people and didn't know it kind of a thing.
Really?
Yeah.
That's
like all the people in the band, like they met because of my cousin.
I saw you at Stonewall, though.
What?
Yeah. Yeah. And then like another one used to work with like a friend of mine from high school. It's like, how the fuck have we not met
Okay,
already?
so then how did they find you for their music video?
They just so they had the old man, Mark.
Yeah.
They already had him cast because they know him from Tulsa. He's a magician.
Wonderful.
He's a magician.
He's a magician.
So Broncho's originally from OKC, from Norman.
Yeah. Yeah.
And but they all live in Tulsa now, because Tulsa's fucking way better than OKC.
Dang.
But nothing's as cool as Stillwater.
Well, they all live in Tulsa now, and I guess like the lead singer, he just like kind of went visiting Tulsa, would go to this magic shop, and Mark was working there, and so he was a fan of Mark forever, and so they wanted him in this music video, and they were like, we need a young Mark. And
You're a young Mark.
Yeah, so
So are you guys look so much alike.
I know.
You guys really, I'm like, that is James as an older man. It's so kind of crazy.
That's what they said when they saw my headshot. They were like, we want to be, well, they got the script from Pune.
Okay, and do you know her?
No, I didn't know her previously, but she knew them because that was her first time ever writing or directing.
Oh, nice.
All she's done up to this point is just photography.
And she's an amazing photographer.
Amazing photographer for like concerts, just like musicians, yeah.
Promo photos, yeah, she's so good.
And so she had this idea for Broncho because she's already friends with them, like through a roommate or something, and just this person knows this person knows this person, sort of a thing. And so they're like, okay, we'll be filming in Texas and New Mexico, but we're gonna base this thing out of Austin because that's where Pune is. So let's just get a bunch of headshots and try to find someone that looks like could pass for a young Mark. And they found mine, and then I got an email from Jason, my agent, and he was like...
Camila's agent, too.
And he was like, do you want to be in a Broncho video? Like, I'm a fan of Broncho. Yes, please. That would be great. Yeah. And
so they booked you just straight from the headshot?
Straight from the headshot.
Yeah. It was meant to be.
And
I love it.
It was kismet. And then, I went in, the day before the shooting started and to try on, different clothes they got from, thrift stores around town. And I started talking to these people. And I looked them up because I knew their music, but I didn't know them. So I kind of looked them up online, and I was like, they're from Norman. I know lots of people in Norman. I've got family there. So started talking, and lo and behold, we were this far from knowing each other.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
That is so cool.
It's strange. My mom, actually, when that music video first came out, my mom and I saw it. Because we were from Oklahoma, and you had posted. I was like, "Oh, that's an Oklahoma band." And I was like, "How did they? This is perfect." And he looks just like we were both kind of amazed by the whole thing. And then to be able to screen it now for an audience is really, I feel lucky to be able to share it.
I feel lucky.
Video.
I feel
so
lucky.
Beautiful.
I'm so grateful you guys
great.
are putting it in.
Yeah,
I saw them in Brooklyn years ago, opening up for one of my favorite bands back then, and they were so much fun.
Oh, yeah.
So much energy.
Oh, yeah.
And we were talking about how that'd be cool if they came. You guys want to come?
Come
on.
Where are they? I wonder if they could. We should email them or something.
You're at 52 right now.
Yeah, let's take a quick break.
Okay.
We'll be right back.
Do-do-do-do. Yes.
This has gotten done somehow.
This. Absolutely.
The festival.
Yes.
There's a bug.
It's so nice today. I had to leave the window open.
Oh, that's fine.
It
Yeah.
is
It's
nice
gorgeous
today.
outside.
It's
Finally,
beautiful.
like October weather.
I wish it was like this, like year round. I'd be cool with that. Maybe even a little more chilly or something, you know? Some sweater weather.
Yeah.
I'm trying to
Yeah.
think where that would be. Nowhere. Everything has like too cold, too hot.
San Francisco.
California
San
is
Francisco.
pretty good.
San Diego. You know? San Diego's like perfect weather all the time if you want like beach weather.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's get to know you two.
Are we going?
Oh, yeah, we're going.
Okay.
Yeah, we're going.
Cool.
Where are you from? Who wants to go first?
I am a proud daughter of immigrants. I grew up in Southern California to a family of artists. My dad is an oil painter. My brothers are musicians. And my mom just did her best to keep us in line. And my
Family of
parents, you know what I mean? You need somebody managing. My parents are still in the house that I grew up in. So Placentia, California, which is like a good 20...
Wait.
Placentia.
Placenta,
Not only-
California.
Placentia. Yes.
Okay.
Or Placencia.
Okay.
And yeah, I went to a number of different schools and grew up as a dancer, so I have a performing background.
What kind of dance?
I mean, typical, like it started, like the competitive dance stuff was like jazz, tap, ballet. Well, no, I didn't compete in ballet. But
Did you
like
get into
lyrical.
any like contemporary dance?
So I didn't do that until college. So contemporary and like modern and like rhythm tap. And I was like, what's this? So that was a lot of fun. I was with a dance company in college and we did like little tours in the area and visited local high schools and did a lot of like social justice issued dances.
Cool.
Which is really cool.
Yeah.
And then I was teaching dance for a little bit and then I got married and had a baby like very quickly in my life after college. And then left there. My husband and I grew up in Orange County, but I loved going to LA because I love music and going to see bands was like my number one thing.
What bands?
So
do you really
my first love in life is probably ska music.
Yes.
So
Do you like ska?
I mean,
Okay.
it was Radiohead. So, I don't know.
So I'm thinking like the Nickel Brothers, MU330, Mad Caddies, even like Less Than Jake, the Hippos, Aquabats, of course, which I think was my first show. My daughter now goes to their shows. Like it's insane.
Really?
how-
They're still going?
Oh, they're still going.
Oh my
My
God.
husband worked with one of the guys from the show, and they did like Yo Gabba Gabba. They got to do some cool shit. But yeah, they're still going. So anyway, we were starting a family, and we're like, "There's no fucking way that we're gonna raise our daughter in Orange County. Let's get the fuck out of here." And then Austin is where we landed. I'd never been here before. I didn't care. I'm always ready to go anywhere. We've been here 12 years. Our daughter was a year when we moved, or we moved just the week before. My husband's an artist. His name is Kevin. Hi, honey.
Very talented.
Thank you. And so we are a family of artists, performing, visual, and our daughter does both. And it's about showing her that you can live the life that you want, to not live other people's expectations, to be respectful to yourself and of the people around you. I don't really do the whole like, oh, you have to be nice, because I think that got me in trouble for a lot of my growing up. Being polite and nice, and I end up just not sticking up for myself, which I've been working on. And yeah, making shit and sharing shit. Like what we're doing, we're sharing.
Yeah. Sharing is caring.
So yeah, that's me.
Nice.
Yeah.
What about you? Where are you from?
You already know me.
But what about them?
Podcast land doesn't know.
So, where to begin? I grew up in Stillwater, Oklahoma, small town, Oklahoma. There was not much to do there. My brother was a musician and is a musician, but growing up, he was older than me, and he was always doing shows, and he had a very active sort of like life, and friends always coming over and bands always playing. And so it was kind of, I was very shy and very quiet and just kind of like witness the world around me instead of really actively participating for a very, very long time. And because of that shyness, or maybe just because I'm an introvert, I kind of went inward and did a lot of writing, reading, watching a lot of movies, listening to a lot of music, and then acting. Once I started acting in like school theater, this whole world sort of opened up for me.
When was that? Like in grade school?
5th grade, yeah. I mean, earlier than that, like when I was in kindergarten, I was very shy, and then in the shows, I would like suddenly perform,
right.
yeah. But that wasn't constant, you know. Like we weren't always putting on shows, so it took a little while to like find that I think identity for myself, and then theater became a little bit, you know, like my gateway to like the sort of life that I wanted to live. And I always felt really safe and comfortable and like excited about playing roles. And my friend Cammie and I, you know, Cammie, we started getting, I remember she got a camcorder for Christmas once. And I was like, I want one of those. And so we would start doing these like commercials as kids, and like
love it.
Thought we discovered the jump cut, you know, like we were very experimental, and we thought we were so funny. We were watching all the Christopher Guest movies and Waiting for Guffman, and we wanted to do that so badly. So we would play a lot with like little comedy sketches and everything. And it was so much fun, and it took the boredom away of living in Stillwater.
Yeah.
And then when I went to college, I stayed in Oklahoma. I was nervous about big cities and driving and all that stuff. And I was planning on going into journalism and something a little bit more practical. And then I had a pal convince me to audition for a play. And I was like, no, I'm scared. I don't want to do this. And he was like, just do it. And then again, like, in an instant, everything changed again. And I started doing more theater as an adult. And then I got my undergrad in film theory and screen studies. So I got to watch all these really cool films. But I also got to audition for all the plays in the theater department. And then I graduated and was a receptionist for 2 years and had...
I remember,
you know,
you
an existential breakdown.
Yeah.
That's when we met.
Yeah.
It was still Oklahoma. I was working at a salon, and it was fine. Everyone was nice there, but it was just like I was sitting at a desk, and I was like, I can't. And I ended up writing a screenplay, which I filmed that winter at the desk on Post-it notes. I was like,
which one was
The
that?
Erased? Do you remember
that? Yeah.
We filmed it at Marlin
Was that the
Mansion.
one with Travis in it? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay.
And everyone that we know. And so it was this like thing of like, I need to be doing something else. Mm-hmm. And then I saw that they were holding auditions for Hair, which is like a very meaningful show to me. And I called my mom and I started crying. I was like, I have to do this. She was like, go back and get your master's. Just like, go back and do it. So I
The school was doing Hair?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
OSU was. And so I went back. I got my master's, which is when I met you.
Mm-hmm.
and spent 2 years doing more theater and kind of a focus on directing. And I did some acting still, but I was really excited about delving into storytelling and picking the right sort of stories that I want to tell. And I had a blast and made so many lovely connections. And then after that, I moved to Austin, got an agent, and started booking commercial stuff, which I didn't realize was an option. I was like, oh, money, what is this?
Right.
Oh, wait, I only have to be here for the day, and you guys are going to pay me like pretty good?
Oh, yeah.
Awesome.
I grew up in a pretty like lowish income family. It was month to month, and so the idea of like working for a day and I'm like, this is absolutely insane. Yeah. But it's still been this struggle, and there's just like not enough work in Austin to like really like get comfortable and make enough to be comfortable. So it's still been this like hustle and kind of constant thing. So I was doing a lot of commercial stuff, and then got a little disappointed in the sorts of roles for women. Yeah, in the film and TV world. And so I started making my own films again, which I had done in college. And I suddenly had, better equipment. So I'm like, this looks better than I remember. And so I started writing and directing. I did a web series, and then just kind of kept like chipping away at this goal I had of like doing, living the life I wanted. And it was to direct and to act and to, like have this really full creative life and community. And that takes work, especially if you move to a new place and you don't really know that many people, and you try certain communities and they don't quite fit. And you're like, what is missing? What is missing? And you have to like really get clear with yourself about what that is. And for me, it's taken some time, and I finally feel like, okay, this is it, and Austin Arthouse is part of that. Because, so I started Minded Productions, which we worked on a few shorts together, and I'm still working on, I'm trying to do pre-production for a feature film.
Really? Can you talk about that?
Yeah. It's called Day of the White Rabbit, and it's inspired by a short that I made with Janet Travis and Ashley James called Mother's Day, which just won Best Narrative at the Blow Up Arthouse Film Festival in Chicago, which is really exciting.
Is it going to be playing Monday?
No, that one's playing in Chicago.
Okay.
In November. And it's also playing November 17th at AFS Cinema as part of their South by showcase, which is cool. So it's just been, I've been wanting to make all these things and act in all these things, and it's a little bit of a hustle constantly of like keeping projects going. And the feature film is, we're in pre-production. We need to find financing for it, and that's just so hard. Yeah. Like doing all of this as like, not coming from money. Right. Is like, you have to be committed to it in like kind of a psychotic way. Like you have to be like this or nothing. There can't be this plan B. There can't be like, I don't have anyone like, leading the way. There is no clear cut path. Yeah. You just kind of have to like figure it out on your own, and you find the people along the way that have the same goals and work together on it. And that's kind of like the only way to do it, because you can't expect anything to happen or what you think success looks like. You just have to like
fucking do it.
And do it all the time. And that's like, I wake up thinking about this stuff. I'm neurotic. But that's like the only way I know how.
I think it's complete. I mean, I think that type of the concern about that particular dilemma, I think is entirely valid, because there is no clear-cut path at all. There's no clear-cut way. I have that same thing going on 24/7. Right. Constantly asking myself, am I fucking delusional?
Am I supposed to be doing this?
Right. And like, am I wasting my fucking time? Am I even good? Like,
Well, that I tried to quit acting last year because of that. I kept like auditioning for
I didn't
things.
hear about this.
I was so...
Give me my popcorn. Got some tea.
acting has been like my heart since I was a kid. It was my gateway into the art world, right?
Right.
And after so many rejections, like a human being can only take so much, but also like a hypersensitive, every rejection just like it hurts so bad, and you try to get tough and like, oh, it's just the business, but there was one particular one where I can't do this, and it was just a breakdown. Like, I can't do this. I couldn't afford my apartment anymore. I moved in with my mom. I'm like, I can't. I'm a failure. Like, I'm delusional.
Right.
I shouldn't be doing this.
Yeah.
I need to get a real job. I need to take care of myself. Like, so I quit, and I told my agent, like, please stop submitting me. I'm going to focus on directing. I'm going to focus on getting editing jobs or, something. And he submitted me without me knowing, thank God, to a project called The Chosen. Mm-hmm. And I ended up getting the role of Mary Magdalene, which has been life-changing. And
where do I watch that? Like, where do I find it?
It's online, and it's all... Well, okay, so you can either watch it online at thechosen.tv, or you can get the app.
Oh, there's an app for the show?
And it's free, and you can watch all 4 episodes for free.
Nice.
And it's really, like, nice quality and everything. And then the next 4 episodes are coming out at Thanksgiving. So it's all exciting.
How's that experience been?
It was lovely. It was really, it was, coming off of this concept of, like, I need to stop acting into this thing that I'm like, this is the sort of role that I've always wanted to play. It's historical. It has a dialect. It's emotional. It's also really smart and smartly written. Mm-hmm. And it's a female character that has a whole backstory and also an actual history. And it was just this gift that I'm like, I did not know that this was even possible or that I deserve this. Or, there was just all these things that happened when I got it that I'm like, this is a sign, obviously.
Yeah.
I'm like, maybe I should keep doing it. I don't know.
Isn't that remarkable, though? Because I know that people have, I don't want to say given up, but decided that they were not going to spend their time doing this or try to do this.
Yeah.
And there's this, like, release. And then there's room to receive this,
maybe
like, huge thing that ended up totally working out for you. That's something that happens to people, which is so awesome.
Well, and I always heard this story of like, I gave up and then it happened. I'm like, whatever. Like whatever that, what is that?
But you can't fake that funk either.
No.
Like, you genuinely have to say, I'm done. Fucking done. I can't do it anymore. And then the universe just goes, now you're ready.
I think there was a little bit of like, let go of your expectation of what this is supposed to look like, of what you're supposed to be doing. Yeah. And then it happens and, it's been lovely.
But I also think like the struggle going up into those things is forming you to be able to be prepared for this new incredible experience that you were either weren't expecting to happen.
What's so funny about that too is like the role itself, it starts out as a character named Lilith. And it's like the darkest place I've had to go. It's heavy. She's demon possessed, right? Like it was really.
This is happening when we were getting ready for this last year.
Yeah.
I remember you.
And it was. I'm like there was one scene I'm like I'm terrified to play this, but there was it was funny because I'm like I'm actually going like when I went to audition for it I felt the despair of like there is no hope. There is no hope. I can't do this and this isn't going to happen. And if I don't get this, like it's just going to be that extra devastation that like, will I be able to handle this?
Yeah.
And so going into audition for it, I was that character, I was already, I'm like in total pain, emotional pain. And then being able to play that out on set in the scenes, I was like, this isn't fake, y'all.
I know you guys think I'm acting.
But then at the end of episode 1, there's this lovely release again and redemption of like just a total turnaround, total like shift into, Mary Magdalene, into who she's supposed to be. And it's so sweet and it's so moving and then, this summer we shot more episodes and I got to just play that and it was just fun. I'm like, I'm feeling happy again. Like this is.
And you're also working with one of my like old school favorite actors. The old guy, what's his name?
Eric Avari.
Eric Avari.
Sorry we called you old.
Sorry, man. Hey, he's probably not going to see this.
Older than you.
Older than me.
Us. Yeah.
Stargate was the first thing I ever saw
cool.
him in.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, that guy, yeah.
He plays Nicodemus, and I have a lovely interchange with him.
It's such a great name.
Nicodemus, I know.
Yeah.
Very biblical, I mean, it is.
Well, it looks like it's time to wrap up. What do people need to know about the film festival? Like, where can they get
Is
tickets?
that what we're here for? I'm sorry, I've been talking too much.
Oh, no, talking. That's what you're here for.
You got it.
Yeah, this is perfect.
Our festival is Monday, October 21st. We have 3 blocks. Tickets online for $20. Tickets at the door for $25.
There's a small service charge, just to let everybody know. So it ends up being $21.50, just so you know. I say 20, you bring a 20, you don't get it. I'm sorry. But anyway, yes. So we are starting pretty early, so you can get off of work and go straight there. 5 o'clock is when we open doors. 5:30 is when we are starting our first block of films. These are more of a family-friendly content, stuff
PG-ish.
stuff that the whole family can enjoy. We do have a Q&A with the filmmakers that are in attendance.
And actors.
And we have Block B, which is a little bit more...
PG-13. A little...
Yeah.
A little more difficult, like, themes.
Yeah.
But still, maybe family-friendly. I don't know.
You can. It depends on your family. Yeah.
Progressive
my daughter
family-friendly.
will...
Super disturbing.
I have a 13-year-old, and she's probably going to stay. And then we have our last block. That'll begin
Rated
around 9. So you get to choose where you bring your family to. But it's important that you come because we have curated a beautiful
They're so good, you guys.
evening of programming. It's one night only. It's intimate. AFS is a beautiful venue. We're so happy to be back there.
They have wonderful drinks and popcorn, and we'll have a lovely red carpet for photo ops and, all that fun stuff.
And then if you just can't wait to see the films, what you can do is go online at AustinArthouse.filmfestival.com, and you can look up all the filmmakers. We did interviews with them, and we have images of their films, and you can get to know what you're getting into if you want.
It's really cool stuff.
Yeah.
It's worth it.
So come hang out.
Yeah.
Thank you both so much for coming to do this. I'm very grateful.
I'm so happy. Thank you, James.
Thank you.
And I just want to say that I met you through Liz.
Right,
and
at a read.
We got to sit next to each other, and
yeah.
I was just beaming about you because I thought you were so cool.
I thought you were so cool. I came home and told Emily, I just met this super cool chick, and she's like, yeah, I know her.
And I know Emily because we got to work together for a little while, so precious Emily. I'm glad I'm in your home. Thanks.
Should we do a quick sponsor shout out to Home Slice?
Yeah.
Sure.
Emily,
come here.
Come be the face of Home Slice.
Come be the face of Home Slice.
Oh, you thought I was joking earlier. I really want you to
Home Slice is taking care of our filmmakers. Rambler Sparkling Water is also taking care of our filmmakers. What else we got going on? A shout out to Richard Whitaker at the Chronicle for writing a little something.
Lovely write-up.
For this week's issue of the Chronicle. Lights, Camera, Austin. Mr. Sims, who has his show, is it Wednesday today or Thursday? Thursday afternoons.
Like I know anything.
Who else? Oh, David from Hyperreal.
Yes.
He's been a champion of the Austin Arthouse Film Festival. They do a lot of cool stuff throughout the year, which is really nice.
Check them out. If you like weird cinema.
Anybody else?
Kevin for doing the logo.
Oh, yeah. Kevin Muñoz. Check him out. East is coming up in Austin. The East Austin Studio Tour. You can see him at Canopy. And, yeah.
Everyone for submitting and supporting us. And it'll be a fun night, I think.
The Carpenter Hotel is helping host some of our filmmakers. The Holiday Inn, which is right across the street from AFS. And I don't know about any other ones. Native Hostel, maybe. Yeah.
It's quite a list.
Yeah.
We'll write it down for you.
Cool. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye. See you next week.